Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. Daps.
I'm Katie with the fuzzy hat.
Is that your new name?
Yeah, Katie with a fuzzy hat.
So not Katie Bear.
No, Katie with the fuzzy hat.
Okay.
Yeah. The pronunciation is very important with the fuzzy hat.
We will see how that plays out. You might regret that one.
Yeah,
Just saying.
I thought it was important to also introduce my fuzzy hat. In case you missed the pre-show, I have a fuzzy hat now.
That is true. And it's cool. So that is cool outside weather. Yes. So that might help you stay warm throughout the show.
Yes.
Which we have a jam-packed full show.
Yeah, we do.
It's ridiculously full tonight. Just like this box is. And yours can be too. With Brownies.
Mm-hmm.
This Friday, the 13th, is going to be an extra special one because all of the Chick-fil-A's in Orange County, California will be selling brownies. And the proceeds from these brownies will go to Chalk Children's Hospital over there in Orange County. We're in Orange County, but you know. Anyway, the brownies are delicious. I've gotten to try some. I have had them anyway. But they're delicious brownies, and they go for a good cause. And we have a video of me being silly that you can see. If you like it, share it, and hopefully other people will buy brownies that not only taste good, but help kids.
Yeah.
It's like everybody wins with that.
Yeah, I'm very excited. On Friday, I'm going to get a spicy chicken sandwich, and I'm also going to get probably a box of brownies. I was gonna say
the half box or the full box.
I don't know, so I'm really going back and forth on that one. It'll depend on what my niece says. I'm going to let my 10-year-old niece make that decision.
The full one.
Most likely the full box.
So if you'd like more information on this, you can go to dapsmagic.com/brownies. And we've got all the details there because we are clever with the name of our URL.
We are.
But anyway, go check it out. Support Chalk. It's a fantastic organization that we love. And while you're at it, join our virtual Chalk Walk team. And you can do that at chalkwalk.org/dapsmagic. Very easy to find. You can be anywhere in the world. You can sign up. You can fundraise. There's no minimum. It's everybody wins. And so sign up. Get your friends to sign up. Don't miss it. And we will have a lot of fun raising money and supporting this incredible organization that we absolutely love.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, should we move on then?
Let's go.
Let's go on into the Week in Geek.
Woo!
With our fun little graphic. Someday I'm going to make that animated so it like flies forward. And
make
it fancy. It might be Murray that does that because he's better.
Murray's very good at that.
He's good at making those little magical things move forward. Let's start off with Buena Vista Street, which will be opening on November 19th, which is a week from Thursday. And right after that, 2 weeks later, you've got the Grand Californian opening to DVC members only. And we've seen that there's a few Christmas decorations on Main Street as well. What do you think about all these developments of parks that are still not open?
There's a lot happening. I'm definitely the most interested in what could possibly be going on with the holiday decorations. There's a giant question mark for me. I was surprised to see the villas reopen for DVC members, mainly because I feel like there's nothing to do.
They did it in Florida, though, ahead of reopening.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good staycation if you're a local DVC member and you have points to use. If you haven't already gone to Florida and used your points there. But they have said that accommodations will be like limited, and I'm sure that it'll probably be a turn down service. Will probably only be at checkout and stuff like that. Yeah, it was a very interesting week in reopening developments.
And while you have all of this happening, they're also furloughing more cast members, which is also weird and a bummer. But it makes sense because the longer this goes, you can't keep bringing people in to do stuff that doesn't need to be done, which is hard, but at least they still get benefits and stuff. My big question is, do any of these things give any indication one way or the other that the park will be reopening?
Like reopening?
Yeah.
No.
Even the decorations on Main Street USA?
I don't think they will. Main Street, it might be like a Buena Vista Street type thing.
I hope so.
Yeah, I would love to see it. Mainly because that'll put more cast members back to work.
Yep.
And that'll put people at Emporium. And I would in an ideal world, I'd love to see it open up to like Plaza.
You know what I think they need to do? They need to do what Knott's Berry Farm is doing. This is a whole new reason, though, because I actually think this is a little bit more tongue-in-cheek, is you let people go to the restaurants throughout the entire park.
Mm-hmm.
You let people go to the shops throughout the entire park. Because that's within the rules from what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
You let people walk around, eat, be merry, maybe put some characters on the roofs like they're doing at Knott's Berry Farm. At that point, you kind of go, hey, Governor, our park is open except for the attractions. Can we turn them on? Like, I at some level, like, I'm just thinking of, like, I'm thinking of Knott's Berry Farm, to be completely honest, is the park is basically open.
Yeah.
Other than the attractions aren't. And
you can literally walk the perimeter.
At what point do you not be like, hey, the park is open?
Yeah.
Let's just turn the attractions on. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me how that fine line is made when, personally, if you can get people off of the, I don't know, off of the main walking area and into attractions socially distant, that might add to the safety factor.
Yeah, it really feels more and more that Newsom just has a problem with attractions.
Maybe he just doesn't like theme parks. Maybe it's like the Muppet movie, where when he was a kid, he had a thing that happened with Disney instead of the Muppets. Because remember, the guy had the problem with the Muppets and he didn't have a sense of humor. Maybe it was something like that.
And I will say that there has been a lot of great decisions made at a state level to keep Californians safe. For the most part, California's like positivity rate and death rate and stuff has been going down. It's been great. I like, just, this doesn't make sense. Like,
especially since this is the thing people remember.
Like, this is that last piece that just doesn't make sense. If we're going to open movie theaters and indoor dining, and
which I would not go to either of those. To be completely honest. I would go to Disney, but I wouldn't go to a movie theater.
And it's just this piece that's not making sense.
I don't even know if I'd go to the thing where you can rent the whole movie theater for $99.
It doesn't feel comfortable to me.
Like, I don't know that I would do that, but I would go to Disney and I would go see, well, not Muppet here because we don't have them anymore, but Muppet Vision 3D in Florida. I was very comfortable. I knew they took care of me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I have no predictions on when it reopens.
Like, officially reopen, like attractions on reopening?
Yeah, reopens.
Oh, if things continue down their current path, I really feel like it's going to be next summer. The vaccine gives me a sliver of hope.
Yeah.
It's 90% effective, but people are going to need 2 rounds of it for it to be 90% effective.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, totally. But they just currently, at this point in time, don't have enough. So it's just about going to be making them available. And I think that once that is widely available, I think that our chances get a lot brighter. So I think it's about, because I think they said they're going to have 50 million vaccines available at the end of the year, but that's for 25 million people because everybody needs 2 rounds. I know math, guys.
So it's 2 rounds of the same one.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like how there's certain vaccines that are 3 rounds or what have you, just to build it up in your body. But they said that there's like a 3-month study that finishes in a couple weeks.
Yep.
And so then they'll start producing it even more and really going into it. But I think that once it becomes widely available, I think that's when our real chances are of it reopening.
So you don't have a clue either.
No, I have
all right,
no
let's go
idea.
over to Disney Plus, where Marvel's WandaVision continues to it's getting more and more attention, I guess you could say, and more details are trickling out because there's not a ton of them out yet, but they're starting to tease things, and they're kind of doing, it's interesting to me watching this, is they're kind of doing an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing with this.
Really?
Where they're bringing in these characters from the MCU that aren't your major characters, but you saw them, so you're like, oh, I know that guy or that girl, but it's not like Thor, you know, like it's people that were in Thor. And so today they, through EW, they announced some of the people that are going to be in the show. Do you want to talk about that real quick? And does that make you more excited, less excited? What does that give you hope for with this show?
The thing that I am most excited about is that we are going to see Rambo's daughter from Captain Marvel. We see her
cool.
as a young girl. We're going to see her in the series, but she's grown up. In the comic, she has her own powers.
So we'll see.
But they're literally not saying anything about the series. They won't say anything about any of the people that are in the series because they just don't want to give up.
Well, it's also, I think, too early. I bet in 2 or 3 weeks we'll get more details that may not give away anything, but just give you more of a feel for the show.
I mean, they still haven't even said when the series is going to drop. So, I mean, December is all we know.
Yeah, but usually I feel like very soon I'm going to get the press release. It's like, here's what's coming to Disney Plus in December on each every day.
That's kind of sticky with this series, though, is that it takes place after Avengers Endgame. If you know the MCU,
then you know
that this series shouldn't be possible. Because there are people that no longer exist that are in this series. So they're also not saying anything about that.
Well, there's people that no longer exist from what we know, but there was more than one thing that happened that can totally change the events. And there's been zero real explanation of what happened at the end.
It's true.
And so for all we know, everything was rewritten.
Alternative
timeline, or it went back, or like there's just so many possibilities that they can decide whatever happens with that. So I it's a comic book, anything can happen.
It's true.
What did you think of the other, like, to me, my thought was like, oh, they're redoing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was when I saw.
So I haven't seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Which I know I need to get on. I know I need to get on watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Up there now.
Yeah, I know. I need to watch it. I have people at work that are obsessed with it, and they talk about it a lot. I'm not at a point where I know anything of what they're saying because I'm just like, I don't.
It has its high points and low points.
Yeah, no, I need to watch it. So I would love to relate it to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know. I think the other character choices are very interesting. I don't know either of those characters because I haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I haven't seen any of the Thor
I thought
films.
that was a good character choice.
I really like both of those actors. I like both those actors a lot. I think they're both insanely talented.
They're not big character choices, but they're
no. Yeah. And I think that they the interesting thing about WandaVision is that it's very like sitcom inspired, especially like old school sitcoms, and these are both sitcom actors. So I'm very, very excited.
It'll be interesting to see how much of a role they have, because if it's
agreed,
the thing that happens so often in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is you would see, you're right, Bailey, you would see a character kind of just appear, and it was more than a cameo, but it wasn't a regular thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious to see how much we're going to see some of these characters that we were announced to.
And I feel like probably not a lot, in my humble opinion. I think that it's mainly going to be...
I think the next door neighbor you're going to see a lot.
I was going to say WandaVision and Agnes. I think you're going to see a lot.
Yeah.
But besides that, I don't think... I think that these are fun teases to get people excited about the show.
So that's my next question. Are you more excited about the show today, or were you more excited about it 6 months ago?
I'm probably more excited about it today.
Okay.
Mainly because the stills made me very excited. I really love... it was like the shot of them sleeping in separate beds. It was so 50s sitcom.
My grandparents.
It was so like, and apparently they genuinely shot the first episode in black and white. Like they just shot it in black and white, which I find fascinating. And they also shot it in front of a live studio audience, who obviously all had to sign NDAs. So don't think that you can find someone and make them tell you.
I will admit this is one of the rare times where I'm the skeptic on this, and I'm intrigued, but I'm less excited today than I was 6 months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I just feel like I had no concept of it 6 months ago.
And mainly it's because I hope they're not trying to just redo Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and fix what they didn't get right with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I enjoyed Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's just I don't think you need to do it twice. And so I want something. I'm assuming when I actually see it, it's going to be completely unique, and I'm gonna be like, oh, this is super cool. But the EW article did not push me forward into wanting to see it more. It actually kind of was like, this looks familiar. And so I don't know. I'm hoping we get some surprise like cameos that are really big cameos from the MCU and not just kind of the peripheral characters. All right, let's move right along.
Choo choo.
Do you have anything else to say about this?
No.
All right, so we are going to I am a topic that's personally very intriguing to me. Is I am a huge history nerd. If you were to see my office, you would see on one wall a ton of history books that are Disney, and then another that are presidential, and then another that's military. And I tend to just gravitate towards history books. That's my relaxing reading, and I have a ton of them. And they're never the really short, fun ones. They're the really big, boring ones. So I love that kind of stuff. And so with the events of this week, everybody's all excited about, hey, new president, yay, whatever. And I was like, oh, so they're going to update the Hall of Presidents. And literally, that was my first thought.
Not kidding, folks. It was literally his first thought.
Yes. So, and then I was texting the team, and I'm like, hey, is it okay if I do a story on this? Because I'm intrigued by this. Like, I think this is fun. And so I think there's a historical component that we get to be a part of with the Hall of Presidents. And actually, if you have a video of the Hall of Presidents that is pre-President Obama, we would love it. And we'd put it on our page with credit, obviously. But I love that we get to be a small part of presidential history through the Hall of Presidents. And so we do have a video of President Obama. We've got a video of President Trump. And with all of the presidents, like them or hate them, they're now a part of American history. And I think that's just something incredible. There's a incredible podcast out there called Presidential that goes through all of the presidents that, if you're interested in this kind of stuff at all, I'd say check it out. And so I'm intrigued. One, I think it'll be fun to see a new audio animatronic in Magic Kingdom. I'm always intrigued because it's kind of a give and take in the speech that they give as to what the president says to inspire us as Americans through an audio animatronic. I was like, this kind of sounds ridiculous as I'm saying it, but I'm really curious. Is this a point where, like, for the first 20 years of the attraction, it really didn't change?
Sure.
And now, I think it was actually since Clinton, they've been updating it with every president in terms of the president, and then they've also updated narrators and the bigger picture theme as well. And so my big question is, do you think this will be a continuation of the current show with a new president in it? Or do you think this is a chance where they're like, hey, you know what, we could add even more depth into this, and we could explore more of the struggles that this country has gone through and acknowledge some of the things that it's achieved? I heard an incredible interview the other night where a person was talking about how her mother and her grandmother weren't allowed to vote, and now a person that looks like her will be vice president of the United States. And it was such a beautiful moment. And I literally, that was my thought process, is like, this needs to be in the Hall of Presidents too. And so I probably shouldn't be an Imagineer for the Hall of Presidents, because I would be like, we need to put this in and that in, and it's only 4.5 hours long. It's a beautiful.
You got a minute and a half.
Yes, that would totally be it. And the Mary Penguin saying only if they include the first rescue dog in the White House, which I love also.
I'm so excited about Major Biden.
But I think it's always, I had a wonderful civics teacher, and Katie's heard this before, in high school, who he definitely had a very strong political persuasion. And he told us, and he's like, you know what? America will always handle any president. And it's always given me a peace. And I'm a very weird, I don't know, political persuasion, I guess you could say, that doesn't fit in anywhere.
You don't.
Because I'm more of a historian. And I think that's really what it is. And so it's been interesting watching things through the years. But that's where the Hall of Presidents is so cool, is because it takes that approach as well. So what would you, if anything, change about the Hall of Presidents, Katie, since I've just done my...
I was like, oh boy.
Well, you got to talk about Marvel, so I get to talk about the presidents.
Oh, because Marvel's totally my thing.
It sounded like tonight. You did a good job.
Oh, thank you. That was very, very kind of you. I would really love to see even more of a focus on the equality portion.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite things is that now with Kamala Harris potentially coming to the White House, she's our vice president-elect. A lot of people were posting, "You better wear shoes, ladies. There's glass all over the floor." But it's true, and it's not just for women, it's for women of color, it's for people of color, and that in my opinion is what makes the country great.
You know how I would do it?
How?
Do you want to know?
No, that seemed very snarky.
Like,
No,
you really want to know? Or
it was real. No, I genuinely care.
So America's always been about the land of opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think you lean into the opportunity thing, and it's not just the opportunity for this small group of people.
I agree.
And I think you could do a really cool history of the nation through the lens of opportunity.
Yeah.
And as more people have gotten to be a part of that opportunity, America has gotten better. And it still has the American journey to continue on to become the land of opportunity for everyone. And I think you do a really cool thing with that. And then you can have President-elect Biden talk about opportunity and decency and coming together. And I really think if he can spend 4 years preaching decency, I don't care if he gets anything else done, the country will be in such a better place because of it. And that's not political in any way, I hope, because I refuse to take sides. But I do think you should always be fighting for decency and kindness, and that seems to be his platform. Wait, does Daps Magic have a video of the American Adventure? Because that seems to be what Mr. Daps just described. You know, we do not have a video of the American Adventure because it is not allowed, and we play by the rules. We record things that they allow us to record, and when they say don't record, we don't. And I think it's because of the theater thing, actually, that they don't want us to record that. I'm not entirely sure. And
I still haven't seen it.
Silver Bullet says they could always build a hall of vice presidents. We learned so little about most of them. That would be pretty impressive.
Oh, that'd be
too,
so
because
good.
There's some really fascinating stories with the vice presidents through the years that are outright bizarre. Like, there's some bizarre vice presidential stories out there. And, you know, everybody's heard of Aaron Burr, but there's other ones that have gotten in fights and done so many crazy random things that, at least I hope everybody's heard of Aaron Burr.
No, I was going to say, I think it'd be very funny if the Hall of Vice Presidents started with, you know, it's crazy that the guy who comes in second becomes the vice president, with Thomas Jefferson going, you know what, we gonna change that. You know why? Why? Because I'm the president.
I've always wondered about that, if that was a good choice. I don't know. Like, I honestly
don't know either.
I'm like, part of me thinks having to work with the person against you is a good thing because it forces you guys to, I mean, when you're forced to play in the same field, you tend to overcome differences. And I think that's just something we need to work on. The outside construction wall for the Hall of Vice Presidents could even use a VP quote. The future will be a better tomorrow. Perfect. All right, let's move on. The other thing that's super exciting, which is just outside of Hall of Presidents, is the Muppets are back at the Magic Kingdom for the most merry time on Earth, merry time of the year, whatever it is. And they are not speaking, but they are performing, which I think is fantastic. And they're doing a really good job.
Incredible job.
I've been really impressed with the videos, to the point where Murray and I were texting and we're like, I want to go back to Florida. And you know, whatever. But we can wish if it was only just a little bit closer.
It's true. Puppeteering Muppets is very hard.
Puppeteering a puppet with a hand is very hard.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
But also, the Muppets have a very distinct history.
and personality.
They're very distinct personalities.
Yeah.
And as you know, there have been a lot of layoffs. So currently, whoever is behind these great puppets,
Hat tip to you.
huge hat tip.
So good.
There was a specific video of Sam Eagle, and I remember I think I texted you something like, "Whoa, Muppets look really good." And you said, "Whoa, that video of Sam Eagle."
Yeah. But Sam Eagle, Fozzie,
100%.
they all look really good.
It's very good.
Do they have Miss Piggy?
I don't know.
I thought I saw that they did, but I didn't actually see a video of it. So then I was like, oh, maybe they don't. But
I would assume they would.
They have everybody else, so
Yeah.
they should.
And if they don't have Miss Piggy, no one tell her, because
That could get trouble.
would end very poorly.
But honestly, like if I could see one thing for Christmas, that's all I'd want to
Well,
see.
and for them to not even be, because they're not obviously speaking, but you still get the whole picture.
Yeah, they're jingling bells. They're like
It's amazing.
It's very cool.
I love everything about it.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs
Love
up.
it. Yeah, and really, Walt Disney World is killing it with this phase reopening because they have done so many unique things with characters and entertainment that you just wouldn't have guessed that they could do, and all in an effort to provide entertainment but also not create too much of a crowd. So you have Chip and Dale show up on the roof of some place and they're there for 15 minutes and then they're gone, and you have the Country Bears or Mickey and Minnie. Like they've done a really good job of creating moments that I actually hope they learned from afterwards, because to me, like I wouldn't ever want to take away the character meet and greet experience, but there is something almost equally magical about having them wave down at you, point at you, and
You say Mickey?
yeah. But I'd love if they could kind of do a mix of that, where you've got the moments of the characters appearing more often than just a parade or a march down Main Street, but then also have the ability to still meet Mickey, Minnie, and Clover. Yeah. But very cool. Last thing for tonight is we are just a week and a half, next week, Lego Star Wars.
Oh man, that's next
holiday
week.
Special, and they have a trailer that came out, and it was amazing. Actually, I'm going to say it was Lego amazing because they're always a little bit unique. But I am completely intrigued by where this. Did you get to watch it?
I have not watched.
Okay, so I will talk about this.
Well, I haven't seen the holiday special, and I know this is different.
This is different.
It's very different.
I actually, after seeing the trailer and reading more about it, I was actually finding myself pulled more into Star Wars Rebels than I was the holiday special. I actually think at the end of this, nobody's going to be comparing this to the holiday special. They're going to be like, huh, did they just connect dots from these other storytelling places in Star Wars, whether it's the cartoons or the movies or whatever? I mean, for all we know, there's going to be a really awesome Mandalorian connection as well, but who knows? What did you think of what you have seen so far?
I'm very excited about it. I really love the sequel trilogy.
I feel like we almost need to watch it before Geeks Corner next week.
I think we should.
Like we could do a DAPS watch like at 7 or something.
That might be a good idea.
Okay, we'll see how long it is.
That might not be a good idea. Never mind. At work. We can make it work.
Watch with Mr. Daps.
We can make it work.
Okay.
But I'm very excited about it. I really love the sequel trilogy. As people know, it's a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I really do love the sequel trilogy, and I love the characters of the sequel trilogy. So I'm very excited to see them more.
I liked all of them. Like as time has gone by and they've added more to the stories around the movies, I've just discovered, I'm like, even the prequels, which I think were probably the ones I viewed as the most weak when they initially came out, with Clone Wars and Rebels and filling in the stories, I'm like, actually pretty much.
But the prequels are just so quotable. Now that's pod racing.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually very funny in real life. We ended up quoting the prequels.
You can see it on this Sunday's vlog.
It's true. You can see it. I forgot that was on camera. Yeah.
That is true.
That's exciting.
All right, Katie, we are out of time for tonight. So what should people do?
Go to dapsmagic.com. Check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens. Subscribe to our mailing list. Find our Patreon. Also find our social media where you could compliment my hat more. You can go to @The Geeks Corner on Twitter, @Daps_Magic on Twitter, or on Instagram, you go to @DapsMagic, @Geeks Corner, and you could probably find pictures of my hat there.
That is correct. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the videos that we continue to post from Florida and from days gone by. And if you haven't checked it out yet, make sure to check out Murray's trippy ride.
It's good. It's good.
On Big Thunder Mountain. It is trippy, I guess. But yeah, make sure to stop by any of your local Chick-fil-A's in Orange County on Friday the 13th and get those brownies so you can support this really good cause. Also, when you do it, take a picture, #ChalkWalk, and tag DapsMagic, and we will retweet it or share it on our Instagram. But that is all the time we have for you this week. So we will see you around the corner.
Bye.